the cost of helping others. The vicious cycle. How codependency breeds conflict in relationships. A look into resentments. Codependency, a pattern of behavior where an individual's sense of self is overwhelmingly defined by the needs of others, is a potent breeding ground for conflict in relationships. While often stemming from a desire to help and please, its core characteristics, poor boundaries, a deep-seated fear of abandonment, a need for control, and a chronic suppression of personal needs, invariably lead to a toxic dynamic of resentment, manipulation, and emotional turmoil. At its heart, codependency is an imbalanced and unhealthy interpersonal dynamic. The codependent individual derives their self-worth from sacrificing for their partner, often enabling destructive behaviors like addiction or immaturity in the process. This dynamic, while seemingly stable on the surface, is a pressure cooker of unspoken frustrations and unmet needs that frequently erupts into conflict. One of the primary drivers of conflict is the erosion of boundaries. The codependent, in their relentless effort to please and be needed, often allows their personal space, time, and emotional limits to be consistently violated. And this can lead to a sense of being taken for granted and exploited. When the codependent individual finally attempts to assert a boundary, it is often met with resistance or anger from the partner who has become accustomed to the lack of limits, sparking a significant conflict. Resentment is another inevitable consequence. The codependent's continuous self-sacrifice, while initially a source of validation, eventually curdles into bitterness. They may feel unappreciated for their efforts and angered by the lack of reciprocation. This resentment often simmers beneath the surface, manifesting in passive-aggressive behaviors, suddenly emotional outbursting, or constant scorekeeping, all of which fuel arguments. The codependent's need for control is also a major source of friction. This control is not necessarily overt or aggressive. It often manifests as a form of helping or fixing the other person. The codependent believes that they know what's best and will go to great lengths to manage their partner's life, from their finances to their social interactions. This can be suffocating for the other person, leading to feelings of being smothered and controlled, ultimately resulting in power struggles and conflict. Furthermore, the fear of abandonment that underpins codependency creates a climate of anxiety and insecurity. The codependent individual may become excessively clingy, jealous and demanding of reassurance. Any perceived threat to the relationship, no matter how small, can trigger intense and often disproportionate reaction, leading to arguments fueled by insecurity and fear. Finally, the suppression of needs and feelings by the codependent individual creates a communication vacuum where true intimacy cannot flourish. By consistently prioritizing their partner's emotions and desires, the codependent's own needs go unexpressed and consequently unmet. This lack of honest communication prevents the healthy resolution of disagreements. Instead, issues are buried only to resurface again with greater intensity, often in the heat of an unrelated argument. In the essence, codependency creates a relationship dynamic built on a foundation of inequality and unspoken contracts. The very behavior of the codependent employs to maintain the relationship, people-pleasing, controlling and self-sacrificing, are the same behaviors that ultimately poison it with resentment, stifled genuine connections, and paved the way for a continuous and exhausting cycle of conflict. Breaking this cycle requires a courageous journey of self-discovery for the codependent individual to build self-esteem, establish healthy boundaries, and learn to value their own needs and feelings as equally important.